Good morning, cadets. Today I'll be taking up the chapter The Happy Prince. We have Happy Prince. Why do the courtiers call the prince the happy prince? Is he really happy? What does he see all around him? Answer. He was a prince when he was alive. Being a prince, he never knew sorrow and suffering. So the courtiers called him the happy prince. But he was not happy in real sense, as his heart could feel the misery of needy people. He saw the miserable conditions of people around him. Question number 2. Why does the happy prince send a ruby for the seamstress? What does the swallow do in the seamstress' house? The seamstress was tired due to overwork. She was so poor that she could not buy oranges for her little sick son. Her son was thirsty. The happy prince saw the poor lady and her son. He felt pity for them, so he sent a ruby for her. The swallow came to the poor woman's house and laid the ruby on the table beside her. The bird fanned the boy's forehead with wings and flew back to the happy prince. Question number 3. For whom does the prince send the sapphires and why? The playwright was very poor. He was incapable of buying food and firewood. The prince sent the sapphires for the playwright so that he could finish a play for the director of the theatre in time. The prince sent his second sapphire to a poor match girl. The matches had fallen into the gutter, and she was afraid that her father would beat her for this loss. So she was helped by the prince by sending her the second sapphire. Question number 4. What does the swallow see when it was flying over the city? The swallow saw all categories of people. He found the rich making merry in their beautiful houses and beggars begging, sitting at the gates. He also saw a group wandering children who were poverty stricken. Why did the swallow not leave the prince and go to Egypt? At first, the swallow was willing to go to Egypt just after discharging his duty. But when he saw the prince's activities of charity and kindness, he got impressed. On the other hand, now the happy prince had become totally blind due to the deeds of charity. In this condition, he could not leave the prince helpless. He left the idea of going to Egypt and decided to serve the prince. What are the precious things mentioned in the story? Why are they precious? The leaden heart of the happy prince and the dead swallow are the two precious things mentioned in the story. They are precious as they did various deeds for the welfare of people and sacrificed their lives for the sake of others. Next question. The little swallow says it is curious but I feel quite warm now, although it is so cold. Have you ever had such a feeling? Man is a social animal. He is social because he is dependent on others to lead a satisfied life. In this regards, mutual help is required. Whenever we help others, there is a feeling of satisfaction. Whenever we are helped by others, we feel grateful. It is because helping others is the essence of life. In this chapter, the little swallow feels warmth when he helps the needy people. He does his act of selfless service with utmost dedication and sacrifice. Owing to this selfless service, he became satisfied. Yes, I have experienced such a feeling many a time. I believe in helping others. Others too help me whenever I am in need. I help others considering it as my duty. I remember the day when I started helping others. Since the day I feel more confident and have become a successful citizen. I feel the presence of Almighty God around me. Short questions. Why did the swallow cry? And when the happy prince asked him to pluck out one of the sapphire. The swallow cried when the prince asked him to pluck one of the sapphires because the prince would go blind. The prince himself suffered too much so as to help the poor and needy people. Where was the swallow going? Why did he decide not to go there? The little swallow was going to Egypt to join his friends. The happy prince looked so sad that Swallow decided to stay back and be his messenger. The swallow died helping the happy prince in the service of poor.